Have you ever wondered why some plants grow faster, greener, and stronger, even when they are planted in the same soil as everyone else? What if the secret is not expensive fertilizer or complicated gardening tricks, but a simple natural solution that can activate the hidden life inside your soil? Today, we will uncover 5 powerful lessons that explain how one small change in your soil can completely transform the way your plants grow. 1. Soil is not just dirt. Many people look at soil and think of it as nothing more than dirt that holds plants upright. It is often treated as a simple growing medium where seeds are planted and water is added. However, this view misses one of the most important truths about gardening and plant growth. Healthy soil is not just dirt. It is a complex and living ecosystem filled with activity that is constantly working to support plant life. When scientists study a single handful of healthy soil, they discover something remarkable. That small handful can contain billions of living organisms. These include bacteria, fungi, microscopic insects, protozoa, and many other forms of life that are invisible to the naked eye. Together, these organisms form what scientists call the soil food web. Each organism plays a different role, and together they create a system that recycles nutrients, builds soil structure, and helps plants grow. Bacteria are among the most abundant organisms in soil. They begin the process of breaking down organic matter, such as fallen leaves, plant roots, and other natural materials. As they decompose this organic material, they release nutrients into the soil. These nutrients include nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and many trace minerals that plants need for healthy growth. Fungi also play a crucial role in the soil ecosystem. Some fungi break down tougher materials such as wood and fibrous plant tissue that bacteria cannot easily digest. Other fungi form partnerships with plant roots. These special fungi, often called mycorrhizal fungi, attach themselves to plant roots and extend long networks through the soil. Through these networks, they help plants absorb water and nutrients that would otherwise be out of reach. This underground partnership is incredibly powerful. The fungi receive sugars from the plant, and in return, they provide the plant with minerals and moisture from the surrounding soil. In many ways, it is like an extension of the plant's root system, allowing the plant to access far more resources than it could on its own. Another important function of living soil is the creation of soil structure. As microorganisms move through the soil and break down organic matter, they help create tiny channels and spaces. These spaces allow air and water to move freely through the soil, which is essential for healthy roots. Roots need oxygen to survive, and compacted or lifeless soil often prevents proper air circulation. When soil lacks this living network of organisms, plants struggle to thrive. Even if fertilizers are added, the nutrients may remain locked in forms that plants cannot easily absorb. This is why 2 gardens with the same soil and fertilizer can produce very different results. The difference is often the level of biological life present in the soil. Understanding this concept changes the way we think about gardening. Instead of focusing only on feeding the plants, successful gardeners learn to focus on feeding the soil. When the soil ecosystem is healthy and active, it naturally supports plant growth in a balanced and sustainable way. The first and most powerful lesson is that great gardens are not built on dirt alone. They are built on living soil. When we protect and nourish the life beneath the surface, the plants above the surface begin to thrive in ways that seem almost effortless. 2. Microbes unlock hidden nutrients. One of the most fascinating truths about soil is that it already contains many of the nutrients plants need to grow. Minerals such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and many trace elements are naturally present in most soils. However, the surprising reality is that plants cannot directly use many of these nutrients in their raw form. Even when soil appears rich and full of minerals, plants may still struggle to grow because those nutrients are locked away in forms that roots cannot absorb. This is where soil microbes become incredibly important. Microorganisms living in the soil act like tiny chemical workers that constantly process and transform nutrients. Through their natural biological activity, these microbes break down complex organic materials and mineral compounds into simpler forms that plant roots can easily take in. For example, certain soil bacteria help convert nitrogen from organic matter into forms such as ammonium and nitrate, which are essential for plant growth. Nitrogen plays a major role in leaf development and the production of chlorophyll, the green pigment plants use to capture sunlight for energy. Without active microbial life to process nitrogen, plants may appear weak, pale, and slow-growing, even when nitrogen is present in the soil. Phosphorus is another important nutrient that often remains locked in soil. Many soils contain phosphorus, but much of it is bound tightly to minerals and cannot be absorbed by plant roots. Beneficial microbes release organic acids and enzymes that dissolve these mineral bonds, freeing phosphorus so that plants can use it. Once available, phosphorus supports root development, flowering, and fruit production. Potassium, another essential nutrient, helps regulate water movement in plants and strengthens their resistance to stress. Microbial activity can help release potassium from mineral particles in the soil, making it available for plant uptake. In addition to releasing nutrients, microbes also help transport them to plant roots. Certain beneficial fungi form networks that extend far beyond the reach of plant roots. These fungal threads move through the soil, collecting nutrients and water from distant areas and delivering them back to the plant. In return, the plant supplies the fungi with sugars produced during photosynthesis. This partnership greatly increases the efficiency of nutrient absorption. The activity of these microorganisms turns soil into a dynamic nutrient recycling system. Dead leaves, plant residues, and organic materials are constantly broken down and transformed into valuable nutrients that feed the next generation of plant growth. Instead of nutrients being wasted, they are continuously reused within the soil ecosystem. When microbial life is abundant and active, soil becomes incredibly efficient at supplying nutrients to plants. Gardeners often notice that plants grow more vigorously, develop deeper green leaves, and produce stronger roots when soil biology is thriving. On the other hand, soil that lacks microbial life often becomes dull, compacted, and less productive over time. Understanding this lesson changes the way we approach soil fertility. Rather than relying only on adding fertilizers, successful gardeners focus on encouraging microbial activity. When microbes are supported and allowed to flourish, they naturally unlock the hidden nutrients that already exist in the soil. This means that the true power of healthy soil lies not only in the nutrients it contains, but in the living microbial community that makes those nutrients available to plants. 3. Fermentation can activate soil life. One of the most powerful and natural ways to stimulate soil biology is through fermentation. Fermentation is a process that humans have used for thousands of years to preserve food and create beneficial products such as yogurt, vinegar, and fermented vegetables. What many gardeners do not realize is that this same process can also be used to support and activate life in the soil. Fermentation works by encouraging the growth of beneficial microorganisms. When plant materials or natural ingredients are fermented in water, beneficial bacteria and microbes begin multiplying rapidly. During this process, they produce enzymes, organic acids, and other compounds that help break down organic matter. The result is a liquid rich in microbial life and biological activity. When this fermented liquid is introduced into soil, it acts like a biological booster for the underground ecosystem. The microbes from the fermented solution begin interacting with the existing microorganisms in the soil. They help increase microbial diversity and accelerate natural biological processes that support plant growth. One of the most important effects of fermentation in soil is the faster breakdown of organic matter. Leaves, plant residues, and other natural materials in the soil contain valuable nutrients. But those nutrients must first be broken down before plants can absorb them. Fermented microbial solutions introduce active organisms that speed up this decomposition process. As organic matter breaks down more quickly, nutrients become available to plant roots much sooner. Another benefit of fermentation is that it introduces enzymes and organic acids that help unlock minerals trapped in soil particles. These natural compounds gently dissolve mineral bonds and release nutrients that were previously unavailable to plants. In this way, fermentation not only adds microbial life, but also improves the soil's ability to release nutrients naturally. Fermented solutions also improve the balance of microorganisms in the soil. Healthy soil depends on a diverse community of microbes working together. When beneficial microbes increase, they often outcompete harmful microorganisms that may cause disease or weaken plant roots. This creates a healthier soil environment where plants can grow without constant stress. Over time, soils treated with fermented microbial solutions often become darker, softer, and easier to work with. This is because active microorganisms help build organic matter and improve soil structure. Better soil structure allows water and air to move more freely through the soil, which creates ideal conditions for root growth. Gardeners who use fermentation methods frequently notice that plants respond quickly. Leaves may appear greener, stems stronger, and growth more vigorous. This is not because fermentation forces plants to grow unnaturally, but because it strengthens the natural biological systems that plants depend on. The important lesson here is that soil health is deeply connected to microbial activity. Fermentation provides a simple and natural way to introduce beneficial microbes and activate the living processes that make soil fertile. When gardeners support these natural biological systems, they are not just feeding plants for a short time. They are building a living soil environment that can continue supporting plant growth for many seasons to come. 4. Strong roots create strong plants. When people look at a healthy garden, they usually focus on what they can see above the ground: green leaves, thick stems, flowers, and fruits. But the most important part of a plant's life is hidden beneath the surface. The real strength of a plant comes from its roots. Roots are the foundation of every plant, and the health of those roots determines how strong, productive, and resilient the plant will be. Roots perform several critical functions that keep a plant alive. First, they anchor the plant securely in the soil, allowing it to stand upright even in wind and rain. But their most important role is absorbing water and nutrients from the surrounding soil. Through the root system, plants take in the minerals and moisture they need to grow, produce energy, and build new tissues. However, roots do not work alone. Beneath the soil's surface, roots are constantly interacting with millions of microorganisms. Beneficial bacteria and fungi form partnerships with plant roots that make nutrient absorption far more efficient. These relationships are one of the hidden secrets behind strong plant growth. Some of the most helpful organisms are mycorrhizal fungi. These fungi attach themselves to plant roots and grow long microscopic threads that spread through the soil. These threads act like an extension of the plant's root system, allowing the plant to explore a much larger area of soil than it could reach on its own. Through this network, the fungi collect water and minerals and deliver them directly to the plant roots. In return, the plant provides the fungi with sugars produced during photosynthesis. This exchange creates a natural partnership that benefits both sides. Because of this relationship, plants with healthy fungal networks often absorb nutrients far more efficiently than plants growing in soil that lacks microbial life. Strong roots also allow plants to handle stress more effectively. When roots grow deep and spread widely through the soil, they can access water stored in deeper layers during dry conditions. This helps plants survive drought and maintain steady growth even when surface soil becomes dry. In addition, well-developed root systems help plants resist diseases and environmental stress. Healthy roots can quickly replace damaged tissues and continue supplying nutrients to the plant. Plants with weak roots, on the other hand, often struggle to recover from environmental stress or pest damage. Soil structure also plays a major role in root health. In living soil filled with organic matter and microbial activity, the soil becomes loose and full of tiny air pockets. These spaces allow roots to move easily through the soil, while receiving the oxygen they need to function properly. In compacted or lifeless soil, roots often struggle to expand, limiting the plant's ability to absorb nutrients and water. This is why supporting soil biology and microbial life is so important. When soil microbes are active, they help create conditions that encourage deeper and stronger root growth. As roots grow stronger, the entire plant becomes more vigorous, producing larger leaves, stronger stems, and better yields. The key lesson is simple but powerful. The strength of a plant is determined not just by what we see above the ground, but by the invisible root system working quietly below the soil. When roots are healthy and supported by a living soil ecosystem, plants gain the stability, nutrition, and resilience they need to grow to their full potential. 5. Small changes can transform a garden. Many people believe that growing a healthy and productive garden requires complicated techniques, expensive fertilizers, or advanced equipment. Because of this belief, some gardeners feel that successful gardening is difficult or only possible for experts. However, one of the most powerful truths about soil and plant growth is that small changes can create very big results. Nature often works through simple processes that build upon each other over time. When small improvements are made to the soil environment, those changes can activate natural systems that dramatically improve plant health. Instead of forcing plants to grow through heavy inputs, successful gardeners learn to support the natural processes already happening beneath the soil surface. One of the most important small changes a gardener can make is improving the biological activity of the soil. Soil that is rich in microbial life becomes more productive because beneficial microorganisms constantly recycle nutrients and support root development. These microbes break down organic matter, release minerals, and help plants absorb water more efficiently. By simply encouraging this microbial activity, gardeners can unlock the natural fertility that already exists in the soil. Another small but powerful change is adding organic materials that feed soil life. Natural materials such as compost, plant residues, or fermented biological solutions introduce nutrients and beneficial microorganisms that strengthen the soil ecosystem. As these materials break down, they enrich the soil structure and create a more balanced environment for plant roots. Improving soil structure is another change that can transform plant growth. Healthy soil contains tiny spaces that allow air and water to move freely. These spaces are created by organic matter and microbial activity. When soil becomes loose and well-structured, roots can grow deeper and access more nutrients and moisture. This simple improvement can lead to stronger plants that grow faster and become more resistant to environmental stress. Even watering habits can have a powerful impact. Overwatering, or watering too frequently, can reduce oxygen in the soil and slow down microbial activity. By watering in a balanced way and allowing soil to breathe, gardeners create conditions that support healthy root development and active soil biology. The most important idea behind this lesson is that gardening success does not always come from doing more. Often, it comes from doing the right small things consistently. Supporting soil life, adding natural materials, and encouraging healthy root environments are simple actions that work together to strengthen the entire ecosystem of the garden. Over time, these small changes begin to multiply their effects. Soil becomes darker, richer, and easier to work with. Plants develop stronger roots, greener leaves, and faster growth. Harvests become larger and more reliable, and the garden begins to feel more balanced and productive. The beauty of this approach is that it works with nature rather than against it. Instead of constantly correcting problems with chemicals or quick fixes, gardeners allow the natural systems of the soil to take the lead. When the soil ecosystem is healthy, plants naturally thrive. This final lesson reminds us that transformation in a garden often begins with simple decisions. By making small improvements that support soil life and root health, any garden can gradually become stronger, more fertile, and more productive with every growing season. Before we end, remember one simple truth that every great gardener eventually learns. Plants do not grow because we force them to grow. They grow because the soil beneath them is alive, balanced, and full of natural energy. When we focus on supporting the life in the soil, its microbes, its structure, and its natural processes, plants begin to thrive in ways that feel almost effortless. Strong roots, healthy leaves, and abundant growth all begin from the invisible world beneath the surface. So the next time you step into your garden, remember that the real secret is not complicated techniques, but understanding and working with nature. If you enjoyed this lesson and want to learn more about soil science, natural gardening, and powerful plant growth secrets, make sure to subscribe to Global Plant Academy. Because when you understand the science of plants, you don't just grow a garden, you grow a living ecosystem.